Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to get your SoloShot 3 set up so that it works every time. I know they've had a lot of issues with customer complaints in the past and they couldn't get the camera to work, but in my opinion, I think that's mostly just user error. I know they did have some issues with software when it first came out, but they've since resolved that. I've only had the camera for 9 months and I've tried all the different settings and I've had some good results and I've had some bad results. And after many months of trial and error, these are the settings, and this is more importantly the setup procedure that, if you follow correctly, should result in great footage 99% of the time. So you want to make sure that you have the latest update first and foremost before you do anything else. And then I want to kind of explain a little bit how GPS works in case you don't understand, because this might be where a lot of people are having their issues. They don't understand how the LOS works, or line of sight concept. So GPS works off of a concept called line of sight, meaning that if there are things in the way and you can't see the camera, you're not being tracked. So hills, valleys, water, those things can obstruct the view and the tracking of your camera to your tracker. So, in my crude drawing here, you see it working properly, but if, for example, your camera is lower than the water level, or there's big waves coming in, you're going to have obstructions and you're not going to be able to see the camera, meaning that it's not going to be tracking you. You always want to see that flashing green light. So first thing you want to do is you want to put your stuff down relatively straight out from where you're going to be surfing. Once you do that, grab the tracker, grab your surfboard, bring it down to the water's edge, close enough to where the water won't rush up on your board. Turn the tracker on first, stick it on your board, right side up. This will give it time to warm up to get the GPS locator working. Go back to your camera and set it up. Definitely want to make sure you also use the little wrench that tightens the base to the tripod. Turn the camera on, let it warm up a little bit. Make sure that you have your memory card. I've definitely had a few sessions where I forgot my memory card. You want to make sure that it's a V30 or higher. Now, the higher the V rating means it's able to process data faster, so it doesn't bottleneck. So the higher the V setting, the faster it'll process, meaning the more efficient it will run, meaning that it won't consume as much battery life. I also have a external battery I have hooked up to it, which extends the amount of time the base is able to record at by about 2 hours, which is really nice. Without it, you'll maybe get about 1.5 to 2 hours of recording max. I'll provide a link for all of these other accessories in the description. And I also have a couple other things. I have a lens kit that I got from Best Buy for really cheap. Highly recommended you get that because during different lighting conditions, you might want to use a darker filter. Also, it protects the lens on the camera. I also recommend getting this lens cleaning kit. It has a brush and this carbon cleaning tip that does a great job of keeping your lens nice and clean, because every time you surf, there's salt water in the air and it gets on the lens and it smudges it up, and you're not going to get as good quality of footage if it's dirty. So make sure you clean your lens every time you use it. Also, when you're looking at your settings, I always have mine on 4K because when you do your editing of your film, you want to be able to zoom in as far as possible. So the higher the setting, the more you can zoom in without it being pixelated. And because I have a good memory card with a lot of space, I can put a lot of data on there without having to worry about filling it up. I also keep the high wind OIS option on there. It's similar to the hyper smooth technology that the GoPro uses, if you're familiar with that. I found that it has a little bit smoother video when I have that option enabled. Also, when there is high wind, it works better. I also keep it on a tight frame of view, and I keep it in center and obviously water mode because I'm surfing. I never use any of the other settings. So they've got cinematic zoom and like zoom lock. I've tried those in the past and those don't work that well. So I just keep them off. And also I keep it at 5 seconds for the trajectory tracking. In case, again, there are obstructions or you're in a barrel or something, it'll follow the trajectory that you were heading. And then once you're back in frame, hopefully it'll keep up with you. So once you have it all set up, you want to go ahead and push continue for track. And it takes about 2 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer to get it going. It spins around a bunch of times. And again, I have found the best success at calibrating with the tracker on my surfboard at least 30 feet away from the actual camera itself. I've found that when the tracker gets too close to the base, the tracking doesn't work as well. It actually will throw it off. So even if you've got it set up and calibrated properly, if you bring the tracker too close to the camera, it messes it up. So I found that you keep the tracker always at least 30 feet away. That's why I leave it on my surfboard, close to the water's edge in front of me. And when it's finished, after spinning around a bunch of times, the camera should point right back at the tracker. You'll see the camera lens pop out a little bit. That means it's done. So go ahead and look at the screen itself, and it should be dead center. If it's not, you might want to recalibrate it, but I've honestly never had an issue. It's always worked as long as I do this 30 feet away method. Once it's done, go run and grab the tracker and kind of run back and forth, making sure the camera is following you. You'll see the green light blinking. That means it's good to go. So go ahead and put the tracker on your arm and go out and surf. Another thing that I really recommend is I've found the Velcro starts to not grip as well anymore from the salt water and everything. So I added an extra little Velcro strap that goes over the regular strap. This is just a little extra protection so the strap itself doesn't ever pop off, because you want to lose this thing in the water, man. It's like $200 plus the strap. That little extra protection, helps you out. So in conclusion, if you follow these instructions in the exact order I put them in, you should have no problems and you should get great footage just like this. Obviously, I'm not a very good surfer, but I'm getting better. And this camera is helping me immensely with that. It's showing me what I'm doing wrong and areas that I need to improve in. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Go get yourself one. I have a promo code where you can get $100 off. I'll put the link in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good one.